Coming up on Live Well.
Do.
Really?
Yeah, when I get on stage, I do still get nervous. So I just like to, like clear my mind and just focus. But once I'm on the stage, like I'm not nervous, which is so crazy. But before I get those jitters.
I've kept the promise. Primary, you can vote in.
Brought to you by Mom Well Care Kit, wrestling one mommy at a time. You should get yours today. Hey, well, here we are on Live Well. We're back for a part 2 with Niash'E. She is a wonderful singer-songwriter coming out of New York. And her story is really, really interesting in that she's really like just this one-woman powerhouse making it on her own. I asked her a very funny question last time she was here. And I was asking her basically about selling her soul. So I wanted to actually ask her more about her soul. Niash'E, thanks for coming back again. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. My soul is fine. My soul is fine. So let me ask you something. We were talking about last time you hear about some of the dark spirituality of the music business. And, you know, you had said you would never be called to go to a Diddy party and compromise yourself like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you though, honestly, have you been asked to compromise yourself?
I haven't, fortunately.
What?
Very fortunately.
No one took you in the back of the studio and said, hey, I got these hot tracks for you.
No. I mean, I think when I go into certain spaces or the studio, you know, I keep it professional because I'm there to do a job. I'm there to make a great song. Of course, you go there dressed like
Nice.
You know, nice but appropriate
Mm-hmm.
because I'm an artist and I want to be respected as that and taken serious as that. And so I haven't found myself in situations where things got uncomfortable up until this point in my journey.
I think that has a lot to do with, you know, what you attract as a person. Like, I think your demeanor says, you know what, I'm not even going to really try that.
Yeah. I'm glad if that's the demeanor I give off. You know, and I'm still, you know, I have a great relationship with the producers that I work with and, you know, the teams that I work with, people that I collaborate with. But I do look at my artistry as a job, right? Even when I go on stage and I perform, because I am a performing artist, not just a recording artist, but when I go on stage and I perform or I'm doing a show, you know, same thing. And I always want to bring a good energy to the space. I always want to make people feel welcomed when they're around me as well.
Yeah.
And so
that's good.
Yeah,
it's good. You read the room well. Like, it's you know, having a talent like yours can be intimidating for people, you know, and you can be reserved looking. So I know when you walk into a room that you have experienced other people being intimidated by your power.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I try to all things of balance. I do, and I do read a room well. So
yeah,
I can say, I don't know if it's because I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah.
So it might just come within the zodiac.
Yeah, my grandmother was a Scorpio. She already knew what was going on.
In reading the
Yeah,
but I would say I'm very intuitive. That's like the one word I always used to describe myself.
Intuition. That's a very, I think intuition is one of the best tools of mental health.
Yeah.
And when you learn to trust it, do you ever hear like just this little voice before something's going to happen?
Yeah, that's kind of the voice that I heard when I decided to just pack my bags and move to Johannesburg.
All right.
Yeah, because I had no plan a year ago this time to do that.
And you came from New York, New Jersey?
Yes.
Wow. What was it like in New York, New Jersey, in terms of, did you just feel like you had done everything you could do there and you needed a more welcoming space or a different space? Or
so I kind of just felt I wanted to unplug.
Yeah.
Because when I'm home, I'm
Mhm.
everything. I'm daughter, sister, friend.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. And
You wanted to do you.
I wanted to just be artist
Yeah.
in a space, and really cultivate that. We were talking about artist development earlier. So really just have the space to figure out who I am
Yeah.
as an artist and what it is that I like, the sound that I'm going for even.
Yeah.
And I was already working with producers that were this side. I had producers in Malawi,
Oh, wow.
in Nigeria, in South Africa. And so I was like, I'm working with them, but the time difference is kind of making work a little more challenging. It's slowing things down. And that's kind of how I rationed it. But I just had that pull in my intuition that you need to just take up and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been the best thing.
Oh, I'm so glad
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you.
Goodness. So, were you were in the school choir as a kid?
Yes.
So, did you go to school and then after school you had choir, and what were some of the activities that you had growing up that maybe pushed you to do? Now,
Yeah, no.
also, was there a teacher, an influence on you that said, "Hey, you need to sing, or you need to be"? Was there anybody life-changing like that for you? Because oftentimes these are the signs we get. You know, that my life is over here,
Yeah.
and other people, say that voice to you through our creator. This is what you need to be doing. Did you get a lot of that, or?
Yeah, no, actually, I there was no one that came out and there wasn't a teacher that came out and said, oh, you need to be like doing this or anything. But there were teachers that would, subtly give me those accesses to, for example, I went to boarding school in
Did you really?
in Mafikeng,
Oh, wow.
South Africa. Yeah.
Wow.
And so the piano teacher on weekends, she would give me the keys to the piano room when no one was on the school premise so that I could go to the piano room and practice and write songs. And, I put together like a girl band. I was always doing that. I was always putting together girl bands with my friends or with classmates and making them come practice, be at rehearsal at this time. Like I was that person. But it was little things like that really allowed me to continue to putting in like those hours of practice and getting better at the thing that I was passionate about, right?
Yeah.
So
You've had a lot of discipline in your life. You went to boarding school and then later went to college, and you were able to finish all having this creative energy. Is that something that your family instilled in you, or were you always like that? Because most creative people are just all over the place.
yeah, I think I'm a little bit of both. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit of both depending on what it is. But I can say definitely grew up in a household that was like discipline heavy in terms of just making sure you stick to your priorities and you focus, you don't drop the ball. Things like that.
You had to bring home them A's, huh?
Yeah, be very focused, be good in school.
Yeah.
But I would say I also had a very supportive family where, I was in the studio at 14 years old,
That's cool.
recording because my mom was like, okay, you say you want to do this, or driving miles and miles to go to certain events where there would be A&Rs and just like,
Wow.
yeah, things like that.
Did your mom schlep you around a lot as a kid?
She definitely supported me, and she made sure that, where I could be visible, I was, and opportunities that would come, she would send them to me and say, hey, are you interested in this? And then my town is also very like arts heavy.
Okay.
So I went to boarding school and then I came back and went to school in Jersey.
What's high school in Jersey?
Columbia High School. So the alumni there is Lauryn Hill, SZA, things like that. And and I was in all of the arts, like everywhere I could be, whether it was choir, whether it was taking AP music theory, whether it was, being a part of the band,
It's funny you would mention Lauryn Hill because I used to do off-Broadway plays in New York, and we used to do these hip-hop musicals, and we did one based off of Shakespeare. It was a hip-hop musical, and Lauryn Hill was actually the backup dancer of me, who was the star of that play back then. Hey, moms and moms-to-be, this is Trina McGee, and I am so super excited to tell you about a great, amazing opportunity. Well, first of all, have you ever just dreamed that someone would just send you a package? Just out of the blue because you're the mom and you want to feel loved? A package about you, about your wellness, about your journey as a mom or a mom-to-be. Well, that wish is about to come true with the Mom Well Care Kit. Girl, you better grab that phone, grab that laptop, that tablet, whatever you've got, and head on over to the website. That is your way to get the personalized care that you need. What are you waiting for? Just sign and click on the link below. It's all there for you, the Mom Well Care Kit, waiting to be sent to you, waiting to pamper you. Remember, you're the mom. You're the heartbeat of the family, and everybody needs you. So take care of yourself. Thanks. From me and from Mom Well, Trina McGee here. It's so funny, you never know like who you're working with. Have you had any of those experiences where you're like, wow, that person was just like did the boxes or or unloaded the boxes and now they're just wow. Have you had anybody in that experience or just not people you've admired, but that?
Yeah, you know what is funny? A lot of like my peers in music from my adolescent years are doing really well too. For themselves, and I was a part of like a lot of the music and culture aspect of my neighborhood, and so yeah, I've had those experiences more so from a place of like knowing people, and then they go on and I'm up next.
I know that when it's something about when you are endeavoring on this at a young age, you'll often meet people along the way that will come up with you. I went to Howard. And some of the peers I went to school with, who I went to school with Diddy. Debbie Allen was one of our teachers. I don't know if you know who she is. And Felicia Rashad was teachers. Taraji went to school with us there. Another woman named Paula Jai Parker, who was in the Friday movies. Wendy Raquel Robinson, who was on the Steve Harvey show. We all kind of came up at Howard, together. So I'm really interested to see what your generation is going to do as far as, because there's always a pack,
Absolutely.
There's always.
I think so.
Can you be cool with women who are doing the same thing as you, though? Because a lot of people, I remember when I was coming up and acting, and we would see the same 5 people. We would see the same 5 people that we'd be auditioning against all the time. Do you feel a kind of competitiveness with your peers, or you just feel like that's what they do, I'm going to do what I'm going to do?
Yeah, I think I kind of feel I'm in my own lane.
Yeah.
But I do think as you climb the ranks, you get a bit competitive because it is, you are
competitive industry.
It's a competitive industry just by nature. But I think what I think is so beautiful about the girls that I see right now, how they all support each other, whether it's the Lizzos and the SZAs and the Victoria Monets, and you see them or the Coco Jones, and they're at the events and the Grammys and things like that, all taking pictures together. They all seem to genuinely support each other, and so I think that's a very beautiful thing where it's cultivating that for the next generation coming up as well. To know that it's friendly competition. And
not everybody knows it's friendly competition.
Yeah.
Some people I could tell you some stories, girl. Okay. Not going to go there. This isn't the Trina laments on the Jealous Competition show. But, I think one thing that's so great about doing music is you're not reading in acting. You have to read the same lines. 3 girls are reading the same lines. Everyone has an interpretation. You get to get out your own genuine vision, your own genuine interpretation of things.
Yeah.
As you grow as an artist, what kind of music, or where do you see your inspiration going as you would put it out to the people?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people start off like, I don't know, sad, writing a song about a guy they don't like, but then you grow as a person.
Yeah.
What would you see yourself doing, writing about more in the future to come?
I think my essence all around is empowerment.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the topic is something different,
Uh-huh.
I think it'll still always have that undertone of empowerment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I want people to feel when they listen to my music.
What's your favorite color?
Favorite color is purple.
Love or career?
Right now, career.
Right, yeah, career. Okay.
Right now, career.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. You seem like a very calm, even, powerful person. Like, I'm surprised someone hasn't just snatched you up right now. So forget about this music. You're going to be my wife.
That is so funny. Listen.
You're like,
I think he would just have to know. He would just have to not snip my wings. That's all.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard. Because, I think that a lot of women are always worried about that.
Yeah.
We do
Having to choose.
Yeah. Why do we have to choose? I mean, men don't seem to have to choose.
Yeah.
They just say, look, I'm doing my thing. If you want to come along, that's great. If not, we do it. It's like women are demanding and men are commanding.
Yeah.
Are you a feminist?
What does that mean? Because I know it's different people. It means different things.
Well, I think what it means to me in the most common sense is that you're not going to compromise anything. You believe that you should be in the same position as a man equally, and you're not going to compromise anything of yourself for a man. Like if you were married and your guy's like, hey, go get me a sandwich.
Yeah.
You're like, honey, you can get that yourself. Like that would be
right.
Feminism.
I see. And I think for me, it's about balance, because there is a time and a place where that is and isn't, like where being a feminist is great, where being a feminist could be detrimental, right? And it's the same with how we all are as people. We have the masculine, we have the feminine energy, and we kind of balance it. Of course, as women, we have the more feminine, men have more masculine, but there's always that, like, those levels, right, of that within us. We go to work as women, and then we have maybe more masculine energy, and we put that forth. So I think everything is a balance. So with feminism, I would say that that's how I look at it. Yeah, there's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah.
That's good. So your empowerment in your music is not really male and female based. It's more just the power within me.
Yeah, the power within me. That's a great way to put it.
What is the power within you? What do you think is your greatest power?
I think just my authenticity.
Yes.
Yeah, because
very real.
No one can change that. It's just I am who I am.
You move a room though. I saw when you came in here, you were quiet and everyone just.
Oh, thank you. Really, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Niashe.
Yeah, I mean, I think just being authentic and being genuine.
Yeah.
Of course, that works in certain situations, and in certain situations you get burned. But I think just being true to myself is my power, because as long as I'm good with me, like that's all that matters. Really, at the end of the day.
Do you do affirmations at all?
I don't do a lot of affirmations. I think I do have a pretty good relationship with talking to myself, though.
Yeah, so you need to be like, I am amazing.
Yeah. No, I don't do those kind of affirmations. I think my affirmations are more so just like, you got this. And also looking at
in the moment
my trajectory, my history, like you overcame that. If you could do that, like you could get over this hump. And just kind of looking at how I've handled previous situations.
Yeah.
And that helps with like trusting myself too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time that you thought you wouldn't be able to continue as an independent artist?
There have been times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to discourage you?
I think when you're independent, you're again doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that they don't tell you about being independent, which is why it's a nice dangling carrot to sign with a label, because you have at least someone backing you
Yeah.
on the financial side too.
Yeah. In the beginning, before they crush you and take every cent you have. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that that's like the main thing.
Yeah. Just being able to sustain.
To sustain it and to live and still have like a life and do all these other things and balancing it all.
Balancing it all. Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Gosh, do you get a lot of support from your family?
I do. Yeah, I do.
I had asked you that. Was there ever a time they came to you and said, hey, maybe this isn't something you should do?
No, thank goodness.
You are so lucky.
Yeah.
Every especially Black parents, they're like, what are you going to do in the next 10 years?
Yeah.
I remember my grandmother just thought me trying to be an actress was just the most ridiculous thing ever, because she hadn't seen anybody.
Yeah.
Not too many people, a very small handful, be on any kind of show at all and everything. But
Yeah.
it seems like with your generation, there's a lot more hope. There's a lot more openness on it. Do you find yourself feeding your music online a lot, or are you more of a performer on the local circuit or
I'm both.
touring circuit? Yeah.
Yeah, like I just had a show in New York in September.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I had another show in Joburg in August. And so so I do enjoy performing and being in front of the audience. Like even right now I'm curating and creating my EP. And so once that's out, I just can't wait to perform at the festivals and just be on stage and get the music out. But I do use social media a lot. I think that's kind of the way of being to be a musician in this day and age. You kind of have to also be a content creator. You kind of have to do both.
You have to be all seen.
And you have to be seen, yes. And so I do it.
Doing it all.
Yeah.
Doing it all.
Yeah.
Is there anything you do like ritualistic before you go on stage? Like when I was on Boy Meets World, right? Yeah, I used to do this crazy thing where we'd put our hands together and everything. We'd be like, right before we would, start the show. And now I think I put up a post of us doing that like a couple of years back, and people think that's like some secret to the long-standingness of that show and reruns and everything. Is there anything you do, or you're just like, thank you, I got this?
Honestly, I just like to be quiet and still because I get nervous. I do.
Really?
Yeah, when I get on stage, I do still get nervous. So I just like to like clear my mind and just focus. But once I'm on the stage, like I'm not nervous, which is so crazy. But before I get those jitters, for sure. Yeah.
When I get jitters like that, before I'm about to go on stage for something, I just scream. I go somewhere
and scream.
Yeah.
That I should probably try that. I should.
Then, yeah, I can scream here. I can do anything in front of them.
I feel like screaming would be better than being silent because you're just holding everything in.
I know.
But then I guess when I get on stage, I just like release everything that I feel. But yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. There's nothing like performing in a wholehearted type of way.
100%.
Yeah. So, let me think here. We've covered everything. We've covered you growing up. We covered you now where you're going in 5 years. No man right now. She's going to stick with her career.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you some other just small questions, okay? Because a lot of times people don't realize that living well has to do with the small choices, that we make every day. I see you're wearing all black right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you usually dress in black?
I love black.
You love black?
I do. I'm trying to get out of it though.
Yeah.
I am trying to put some color in my closet. Even though I told you purple is my favorite color, black is like a lot. I have a lot of that.
You have a lot of black. Yeah, my husband's like that too. I'm like, you cannot wear this black. You're going to see it. He wears this black shirt all the time. It drives me crazy. This morning I was like, can you just put this blue shirt on? He's like, no, gotta have my black. I like bright colors. I'm like a Caribbean girl at heart. I always want to be white, yellow, red, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the choices that you make sometimes creatively, like what I'm going to put on today, I'm very much a believer in mastering your day. Is there anything you do in your morning regimen that says, hey, this is how I'm going to master my day?
Yeah.
Like, I work out like a maniac. That's not for everybody. But
Yeah. So actually in the last 6 months, I've started doing Pilates.
very good.
And it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually really enjoy it because it's like a private lesson. And it's just me and my instructor. We get to, well, she.
Okay. Yeah, so, get this girl to get more balance here. What's going on?
But yeah, so I enjoy Pilates a lot. Yeah.
There's a certain thing about working out. There's a certain point where I just feel like my mind starts opening up.
Yeah.
Like I can think clearer. I can strategize. I always get up before my husband, a lot earlier than him. And by the time he's woken up, I've already been to the gym and come on, we got to do this and everything. I love having an edge on anything I can control to have an edge on. Are there things about your life that you feel like, oh, I'm a little bit more, I'm better in this area, so I want to excel it? Are you competitive like that, or are you just like, I'm trying to be the best version of myself?
I'm more so I want to be the best version of myself. But I would say I just like starting the day early.
You do too?
Yeah, I like starting my day early. If I don't start my day early, it throws me off completely. Yeah.
Like, I just got to be up before everyone.
Yeah.
Then I feel like, okay, I'm in control. And it's just such an illusion. I have no control really of my life like that. But I just feel like anything I can do to keep that train kind of running. But you seem so poised, though. Did you ever have like etiquette lessons or anything like that from your family?
I didn't.
No.
I think, but I I think it's also maybe like the journalism training. I don't know, maybe the media training. You kind of do. Are they like? So you kind of go through that a little bit.
This is Trina McGee.
You do go through a bit of media training, and when you study journalism as a area of expertise. But I don't think it's on purpose, but I think I've always been that way. I've been always very calm, and then also I like to just pace myself, and I think before I speak. So
You do.
I do.
I don't always think before I speak. I'm working on it, though. Listen, you are such a tour de force. You're like creative spirit meets great training meets discipline. She's really going somewhere, and I'm so glad to have you back. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about your journey, because it still really is in process, and these are the types of stories that people really need to see. It's great to see somebody when they're up on every billboard, but to see somebody who really is going through it in real time and will make it is pretty amazing. So I wanted to thank you for that, Niashe.
Thank you so much. And I will say that the journey is part of the enjoyment. I had to also realize that it's not just about the end goal and getting there. And I was having a conversation with someone, and they were speaking about how when they did get to this level of success and everything was going amazing, like they felt like they were at their lowest. Yeah. And they started realizing it's not all that it cuts out to be sometimes, but I think now just enjoying the process of me getting there and growing is where I
enjoy the process. It's still new to you.
Yeah.
When you've gone to like 20 million movie premieres like me, and you don't give a shit. But I'm so glad to be around someone like you who still has that new energy for it and that new love and that new passion.
Thank
you again.
Keep
going, girl. You're doing good.
I appreciate you for having me.
Oh.
This is a great conversation.
Oh, yes. And you can catch her on we're going to put all her down below, all her Instagrams and all her platforms and everywhere that you can find Niashe's music. She's just wonderful. She's coming at you. She's really going to be the next big thing. So please pay attention. And this is Trina McGee here on Live Well.